Hi, I'm Chris MacLeod. I'm an academic in the School of Sport, Exercise and Health Sciences and also the chair of the LGBT+ staff network at the university, but formerly I was also the Deputy Officer and LGBT+ Officer at Loughborough Students' Union.
So my name's Harry. I'm a third year and studying politics and involved in every aspect of the Students' Union.
How has cancer affected my life? Well, it's affected it greatly, sadly. In March 2018, my mum was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she had treatment for 6 months, went into remission November, December of 2018, but sadly it came back in January 2019, and she then passed away on the 28th of July 2019.
Cancer's affected my life in so many ways. I've had impacts from extended family members. My aunt was diagnosed with breast cancer, and then more recently my dad passed away of pancreatic cancer. So as you can probably imagine, it affects people in completely different ways. My way was just to do everything else other than anything else, and yeah, it had a massive impact on my whole family, and my focus became everyone else and not myself. So it's had a big impact, but I think it's almost impacted me for the better in some senses. It's built me up as a better person than I perhaps was before.
So I started Loughborough's Got Talent in 2018, but really it wasn't just me that was the reason why it started. It was because of my mum. In 2018, when she was having treatment, there was one point where I think she had a concoction of drugs in her system, and she said, as a performer that she was herself, she said she would love to come to a talent show at the end of 2018 when she'd got through all of this treatment and was in remission. And just those little words she then said, and she also asked me to organise it at the Students' Union, those words placed so much energy within other people to create this event, and we managed to put it on, and it was a great show in 2018, and we raised over £1,000 for Bart's Cancer Institute, the place that supports Bart's Hospital in London, where Mum was having her treatment. But as I said, sadly, she then passed away July the next year, and we put on Loughborough's Got Talent again in 2019 in November, and we managed to raise £2,300. And whilst she couldn't be there the second time, she could the first time, and she loved it. She took off her wig at that point and talked to people in the crowd. Second time it wasn't possible, but she was still there in spirit, and it will be forever now, because we're very grateful that LSU have supplied this trophy for the winners every year, and it's the Patricia MacLeod Trophy, my mum's trophy. So I'm very grateful for that, and so that's why it was put on in the first place.
I had support from so many different kind of charities, mainstream and then the hospice sort of area as well. I didn't take much advantage of that as I perhaps should. I was one of those stereotypical man in the sense of shuts down and just goes, I'm fine, I'll be fine. But they helped. I could see how much they helped my stepmum and my brother especially. A Garden House hospice back home for me was amazing. They had weekly meetings with him. Despite my dad wasn't with that hospice, they still went out of their way to help. And then Pancreatic Cancer UK's massive help in so many ways, just in treatment. Like, my dad wouldn't have had as long as he did, especially with pancreatic cancer, if it wasn't for Pancreatic Cancer UK and Pancreatic Cancer Action as well. They're both amazing charities that just do vital research that the government doesn't fund enough. Cancer awareness is massively important. I think not only for signs and symptoms to spot your own personal early diagnosis, and you know your body ultimately, but Pancreatic Cancer UK, for example, they have all the signs and symptoms listed to help you spot those early signs. If you signs that you would miss and doctors would miss, but again, you know your own body, and without their assistance on that sort of thing, people would go undiagnosed. People still go undiagnosed because there's not enough funding for it. That kind of brings it on to the next point, is cancer only gets funding really from charities. It doesn't get any funding from the government really. It gets some, but not enough. There's never going to be enough, I don't think. And that's why charities like Pancreatic Cancer UK, cancer research, all of those are so important.
It's so important to support research into cancer because the statistics say that those born after 1960 have a 1 in 2 chance of getting cancer in their lifetime. And even if that statistic is slightly on the harsher side, it is so likely that we will all be affected by cancer in some way. A friend, someone in our family will have cancer, and it will come crashing into your life without expectations, and will change you forever, not just at the time. I know from my experience it has changed me for forever. So we really need to put as much money towards research that can help look about the prevention of cancer, treatment of cancer, support individuals going through cancer, and support those family members who are supporting someone going through cancer. So it is vitally important, and I really wish anyone could just donate as much as they can tonight to this amazing cause. As I say, it's so important.